According to a USA Today article from 2016, the price of an EpiPen, which is pictured here, rose 4,000% in prices, from $57 to $600 in 9 years. An EpiPen is basically for someone who has a severe allergy or asthma, and it's to help deconstrict their airway if they need the pen. Imagine if you are a parent who has a child who has severe asthma and you have to have 2 EpiPens at home, 1 in your car and 2 at school. That's 5 EpiPens, $600, that's $3,000 in EpiPens. Sadly, price increases like this are not uncommon in the pharmaceutical industry, and pharmaceutical companies are actually completely unregulated in their pricing in the United States. This pricing needs to be regulated to reduce the cost of healthcare for people, and this topic concerns millions of Americans, including myself. The main points I'm going to talk about today are how these prices can get this high, the effect of the high prices, the different medications that have seen an increase in these prices, and how to stop the high prices. My first point is, how can the companies charge so much? And this information is from the Washington Post article in 2015. First of all, Congress does not allow medication prices to be regulated. The US is actually the only advanced country in the world that does this. An example of this is Daraprim, which is pictured here. This is an anti-parasitic medication. In the United States, this medication costs $750 per pill. In Great Britain, this costs 66 cents per pill. Pharmaceutical companies often claim that they need government funding for research and development. However, most of their money is always spent on advertisements instead. The US is also the only country to allow direct-to-consumer advertising for medications. Companies that produce medications also receive tax breaks and are guaranteed exclusive marketing rights to certain meds, giving them a monopoly. Once they have the monopoly, they can basically charge whatever price they want. Another thing these companies do is, when they have a patent for a specific medication that is about to run out, other smaller companies around them will start to produce this medication at a much cheaper price. To control the market, though, this big company will pay the small company not to produce this medication so that they can continue to produce it themselves at their own price. Another thing companies do is called evergreening. This is where a company will basically revive an old medication and modify it slightly, and then present it as a new medication for advertisements and charge a huge increase in the price. My next point is the effect of the high prices of medications. According to a Wolters Kluwer article in 2016, basically it makes medications unaffordable for some people. It also increased the cost of healthcare, which in the United States is far and away the highest in the developed world. Medications also account for 17% of US healthcare cost, so an increased price in pharmaceuticals is going to increase the cost of healthcare basically for the US. This also creates a high deductible and high premiums for insurance companies, and if you are an employer who has employee-based insurance programs, you're going to have to spend a lot more money funding this healthcare for your employees than you would have if the prices were lower, which is going to negatively affect the economy because you have to put a lot of money into healthcare for your employees rather than in your own company. My next point is examples of some medications that have had an increase in prices. According to CBS News 2016, medications overall are expected to increase 12% in 2017, while wages are supposed to increase only 2.5%. An example is a hepatitis C medication that costs $1,000 a pill and $84,000 for one cycle of treatment. According to a Medscape article in 2016, 48 drugs increased 500% since 2015, and 15 drugs increased 1,000%. Another example is an OCD medication, which increased 2,000% in just the change of 1 year. Deflazacort, pictured here, was sold by Marathon Pharmaceuticals and cost $89,000 for one treatment, which is an increase in 6,000% since the year before. According to an LA Times article in 2016, Turing Pharmaceutical increased the price of a life-saving antibacterial medication by 5,000%. This is a 62-year-old medication that was only slightly changed, and then a new price tag was put on it. The CEO, Martin Shkreli, said that almost all of this new price increase will be returned in profits, and he claimed that it would be a good investment for stockholders in this company. My last point is how to increase the price of these medications, or how to control the price. The first thing is to enforce transparency for the pharmaceutical companies. They should be forced to report exactly what they're spending on so that the government knows if there's a reason for an increase in price. Another possibility would be to eliminate the direct-to-consumer advertisements, because a consumer sees an ad on TV and they think, I need this medication, they prescribe it to themselves. They go in and talk to the doctor and they refuse to have any other medication, even though this may be the most expensive medication on the market. Another possibility would be to disallow bigger companies to buy out smaller ones to keep their own patent. This would allow more generic medications to be produced, which are cheaper. And then limits should be put on out-of-pocket spending for patients, especially if you have a chronic disease and the disease you have is very deadly. And then lastly, a price cap should obviously be set on the prices for pharmaceutical companies by the government. In conclusion, pharmaceutical companies raise prices through market dominance and by reselling old drugs. The increase in prices raises healthcare costs and can hurt the economy also. Many drugs have experienced increases of hundreds or even thousands of percentages, and setting a limit on drug pricing and forcing companies to have transparency can help eliminate these high prices. In the end, a patient should never have to choose to stop a treatment because it's too expensive, so there must be action taken against these high prices. Thank you.